Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sisters Against the System. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I want to introduce to you Mr. Stephen Bobo. He is another activist with prison reform, and Mr. Bobo and I are going to be discussing ways to improve the country's prison system tonight. Welcome, Mr. Bobo. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me on. I really do appreciate it.
Not a problem. So, how long have you been interested in prison reform, Stephen? May I call you Stephen?
You sure can. I've been interested in the prison thing since I got out. Got out of prison in 2013, 2006, 7. That's when I got out. Yes, but also I'm ex-CO too. So, like I said, I've said before, I'll say it again, I've seen so much corruption inside the prison system. And it's just wrong. But the way how they do inmates, I'm not saying that all inmates are innocent because, a lot of us are not. But they don't deserve to be treated the way they're treated. And I think the way that the system is made up, it is made up as money and a breeding ground for more prisons and more prisoners and more COs and more of this, more of that. It's a business. It's a big business. That's all it is. And there's a way that we need to put a stop to big business in prison because it's not right. We're not animals. We're not livestock. And you can't breed us to do things. Breed us to how can I say it? Breed us to do your bidding. You're not God. You're not this, you're not that. You're supposed to be a supervisor, okay, a warden, a governor. That's what you're supposed to be. We vote for you. But you don't turn around and then try to make it a place where you have to breed us to do your work. That's not right. That's not how it's supposed to be.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And this prison for profit thing, it's really happening. That is why they are ignoring the fact that everybody that goes comes back. Once you've been in prison, the odds that you're going to continue to go through that revolving door are very high. And if you're mentally ill in our country, it's guaranteed that you will end up in prison at least once in your life. And the thing that bothers me is that prison is, I think one of my favorite quotes came from the warden Burl Cain of Angola. And he says, prison is for those that we are afraid of killing or harming people again. The rest need to go somewhere else. And I know what, go ahead.
You're right. No, I'm sorry. You're right. That's and that's so true. That's what they think. Because I remember getting out of prison when I got early release. I got judicial release. I got out early. I was supposed to do 3 years, and I got out in 22 months. They said as soon as I was walking out the door, they said, "Well, we'll keep the lights on for you because you'll be back." No, I'm not coming back. He said, "How many times have we heard that?" And for you to tell somebody that, what if a person really is trying to make a change, and you tell them, "Oh, you'll be back"? That's going to be a complex in your mind because no matter what you do, you're going to say, "Oh, I'm not going to. I might mess up and go back." Especially if you have probation officers or parole officers who are looking for you to fail, and that's not right. These guys, these women and men alone sometimes don't even have a chance. As soon as they get out that door, they're knowing they're going to be coming back. It's not right.
No, it's not right. The way they send people fresh out of jail back into the community is absolutely atrocious. And so I got to tell you one thing that occurred to me. I was watching the documentary about the whole system, and it occurred to me if we could separate these inmates according to we need a new classification, first of all. And I think if we could separate the inmates according to their needs, what do they need to learn? What do they need to do while they're in there in order to succeed? That we might be able to do a better job providing programs for prisoners, because this is what was said. It was said that as soon as a new prison program crops up, seems to be doing well, gets off to a good start, then what happens? The public starts complaining, well, your tax dollars are going to pay for pedophiles to get this program, and next thing you know, the program is cut.
Right.
So I'm thinking, well, if we separate the inmates according to, I'm not sure how it should be done according to their crimes or basically tending to their needs. For instance, a burglar has different rehabilitative needs than a pedophile does. And, of course, the immediate answer they're going to give us is, well, we don't have enough room. And to that I reply, well, you're big on building all these prisons, build some more. Make room.
That's right.
Apparently that's not the issue.
That's so true.
So if we can start there with the classification system, what would you do with our prison system, Stephen?
The classification system, I never thought of it that way. Well, I take that back. I know in Ohio, where I'm from, they have one prison in particular deals with sex offenders, and it's Madison Correctional Institution, and they deal with sex offenders because they have the classes there, and there's a class called the Monticello program. I remember that. The Monticello program is the prison program for sex offenders. If you have the sex offense class, you have to take that class, or you're not going to get out early, or you have to pay for it on the street. And you pay for it on the street, I've heard it is expensive. And so why not take it? We can take it in here for free. And here's the whole problem with that. There was, say that you got 3 years to do, 3 or 4 years to do. And the time you get up to be registered to go into this class, because there's a waiting list for the class, you got 3 years to do, and by the time you get called to do it, you're 2.5 years in. So you got a half a year left to see if you're going to be able to get the class. And if you don't get the class, you have to take it out on the street, and you don't have no job to pay for it. So, and that goes into your parole. And if you don't go to parole, you don't do that chapter in your parole, you don't do it, or you can't get it done if you don't have the money to take the class, then they're going to revoke you and send you back to prison. So now you're going to do it all over again and wait in line again to get back in. And that's a whole new number, a whole new price tag on your head. So there's twice you're going to be put to prison for the same crime. You know, people don't look at it like that. You do right. Yeah.
And in the meantime, he could reoffend.
That's right.
They're setting him up to do so, and that's wrong. And I wonder, why is it the taxpayers are not up in arms about the $70,000 per bed per year? I got to be honest with you, Stephen. I raised 2 children, and I never ever paid $70,000 a year for either one of them. Not both of them together, I don't think. That's a very high price.
It is. And they say, well, that's for the food that you get. And the food's not that good. The food.
No, they don't pay for that food.
Right. Most of the time they grow it. With the cows, they have cows on some of them, on some of the yards.
Yeah.
Like that. And so that they pay for it. So that's for your food. That's for your medicine. And medicine's not that good either because it's the lowest grade that you can get. And and they keep you so doped up. So they make you buy medicine because they say you have this problem, you have this. No, I don't. I've never had it before, but now I'm here, so now I have to take this medicine. Nah, but like I said, it's a money thing. It's just like you said. There has to be a way that we can classify each prison. Or each prison has a certain type of place where certain type of, like you said, for burglary. Yep, they should have their own little thing for that. And you're right. And murderers should have their own little thing for that.
Yeah.
They should have their own little thing for that. And you know what? And that's a great idea. But here's the whole thing: is that going to be strategic enough for them to do it? Money-wise.
Well, the way I look at it, with the profit they're making and that $70,000 a year, they better not tell me they don't have it. I would tell them go back and find it because it's there.
Right, right.
Try looking on the ground or under the ground. Get a shovel. Where did you bury it? Did you wake up in the forest? Think. You cannot lose that kind of money.
No, you can't. You're right. You can't lose it. But it makes you wonder, and like I said, it's nothing but a money pit because they know, well, the state's going to pay for this to be done as much as how big right now the sex crimes are. Okay, like I said, with the Bill Cosby thing, now with the R&B singer R. Kelly thing. So that's more money that's going to be poured into the sex offender thing because they're going to say, well, we can get classes for that. And that's thousands of dollar classes for these guys. And they've got a big, long line to get into it. And you might not be able to get into it. And then you have to wait for it and take it on the street. And like I said before, you don't have the money to pay for it. So and then if you don't go, you're going back. So, like I said, it's a revolving door. That's what they want, a revolving door, because like you said, they want that $70,000. So every time you go back, you got a $70,000 price tag on your head. And that's how it looks, and it's bad because this country is terrible for that. Don't get me wrong, I love America. I love America and all this type of stuff, but I don't like the stuff that it does. And they treat people who are ex-felons, returning citizens,
convicted felons,
convicted felons. They treat them like they're not even second class citizens, like a third class citizen. And that's not right. If you've done your time, let the people go and let them get back to work. If you're going to try to build more prisons, well, there's a job. There's jobs. There's build more prisons. You put the guys on probation. Give them a job how to do construction. Let them build the prison. That's a job.
Absolutely. Why not?
Right.
Why not? And the thing is, I was listening to a therapist the other day that has come out with a new program for sex offenders that changes the way they think.
Right.
She pointed out that, like it or not, we are going to have to deal with these people. We're going to have to figure out what happened to the sex offenders, how to get them back into society, because that problem is not getting better. It's getting worse. And we need to protect the future children.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of the matter is, one thing that really shocked me is those people are not born that way. Some of them might be. That is actually called a psychopath that is born that way. The majority of these sex offenders actually had the same thing happen to them. It was a result of some very traumatic occurrences during their childhood. And so if we consider that, we really do have a big problem in our society, and we can't just keep pushing them away and shutting the door and leaving them in the dark because it's not working.
Man, you're so right. I'm so glad somebody else has seen that. You're so right. And it's, I really I'm gonna do a whole show on that. Next time I do my show, I'm gonna do one on that because it's not helping. I told somebody that the other day online. I was talking with my cousin, and she's she's in the federal side of law enforcement corrections. And I told her, I said, I said the sex offender classes and stuff like that is not working. I said, because if it was working, you wouldn't have the problem that you do with the sex offender. They wouldn't come back. Because it's not working. They're not scared, and they're still messing with kids and stuff like that. So something's not working. Something's not working. They're not scared of something. Something's not working at all. But it's got to be a change. And you know what? And that's why I'm so glad you brought that up. Also, that the different places for different offenses, because you're right. You put everybody in the same boat. It's not getting done. You're overcrowding. You got sex offenders in there, and you got sex offenders in there with armed robbery. That don't mix together. How can you have any type of open talk between the two, because there are two totally different wavelengths.
Yeah, there's no chance for group therapy or any chance to work on the cognitive part.
That's right. You can't.
At all.
You can't. You're exactly right. Finally, somebody sees the way I say. I'm so glad I met you like this, because that's exactly right.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is going very well, because it's worse in the zoo. At least in the zoo with the animals, they separate them.
There you go. I mean, you're right.
A horrible riot happened. It's still known as the most violent riot in this country because the inmates got a hold of acetylene torches, and they used them. And, it was just nasty, horrible. And so I know what happens when you do this to people too long, okay? They will eventually break. And when they break and they snap, well, all I can say is I hope we have enough members of the military, because if they get organized, all these prison gangs especially, and plan on one big nationwide riot, that's enough. They're not listening to us. I'm not an animal. And they all decide to we're going to have a huge problem. And the thing that really surprises me, Stephen, is these people that are all for this prison for profit and let's make more money and be meaner to them, don't they consider that these people eventually end up back in the community, the majority of them? Why are you going to do that to someone that could be in your neighborhood next Friday and find out where your house is?
That's right. That's so right. You know, and I used to tell people that. I used to tell that when I was a CO. I used to tell that, and and I was wrong for that. I was really wrong for a lot of that stuff, because, like I said, I never did abuse an inmate, but there was a lot of mental cruelty that I said. I know that for a fact. I said that in a book that I'm about to start writing here pretty soon. It's going to be Conviction to Redemption. That's what my book's going to be called, and I used to tell prisoners, at least I get to go home on the weekend. At least I get to go home on the holidays. Like Christmas comes, I work Christmas, so at least I get to go home. And they said that wasn't called for. And that was really, really mean, really childish of myself to even say that. And then I sit back and think about it. My friend, she helped me write the book, and she's like, you think about it. Look where you ended up going. I went right back. I went right there where they were at prison. So I learned, because just because I like to tell people that just because I made the right decision doesn't mean all the time I made them. I make bad decisions all the time. Everybody does. But one time you can make that wrong decision that can land you right back and land you right in there. And and that's exactly what I did. I made that wrong decision of all my life. I had to wait till I was 30-some years old to get locked up, to go to prison. Late 20s, early 30s to get locked up. And how is that possible? Why do I wait so long to do it? But like I said, I had to learn, because I couldn't do the things I do now if I didn't experience them firsthand. Because I seen it on the CO side. I seen it what I would do to make things better just for me, because I had to go home that night. But what about the people the inmates that I was doing wrong to? How to make them feel? So I had to see that I had to personally see that when I was inside, how they made me feel. And it does. It makes you feel mad, irate, just like you said. What makes you think they're not going to get out? Because when they do get out, they're going to remember the things that you've done. We're going to remember the things that you did. And when they see you, if they're really trying to make that change, they'll let it go. But if they're just so mad, still upset, they might take it out on you. You never know what they're going to do. And you're right. And just like I said, you can't poke a bear if you're going to poke a bear for so long until you make you mad.
Well, that's so true. That is so true, and that really frightens me, as well as when they did the national prison strike. I was absolutely amazed that it went as far as it did, and thought to myself, wow. if they decide to get together and just really teach us a lesson all over the country, we're just going to have a huge problem. And you know, I have gotten a lot of calls and comments about the gang situation in prison today. Mm-hmm. It is, as you well know, it's really bad. Yes, and that's another reason for the guards' behavior, I suspect, is because the correctional officers are seriously outnumbered. When I hear the numbers of COs compared to inmates at various mm-hmm. prisons, I just shake my head and think, what are they doing? That makes no sense.
Yeah, you're right, because I know the prison I was at was 224, and I was on one floor prison and had in bunk beds, and it was like one part of cells on one side and one's on the other side, and it was 200-something inmates to one CO, and we have female CO in the morning, and she had to control all those guys, and I was on a very, very minimum security because I was an ex-CO, and so I wasn't really in that much of a problem. So they kept me in the minimum camp. So I was sitting here thinking about what if we all wanted to get upset and wanted to fight and riot for one female CO. Somebody could overpower her, take her walkie-talkie so she couldn't call for help, and then she's in there by herself. And like you said, that's just too big for one inmate with one CO. It's not safe.
Yeah. It's asking for trouble, and sooner or later trouble is going to happen. We saw that at the Santa Fe State Penitentiary, that horrible riot. It started because they had a gymnasium full of inmates, and they're sleeping on these mats on the floor, and they have two officers. One stands outside, one CO goes in to check and count. And, of course, that's when they had started the attack. Right. I mean, that was a very stupid mistake that they made, and I can easily see it happening again. So I do feel sorry for the correction officers. I think if the officer is there to do their job and they care and they're not a complete sadist, let's give them pay raises. Let's give them benefits. Let's, do anything to boost their morale. Mm-hmm. And see if we can't get the majority over to the right side of the law, because as it is now, I really believe that it's more so the correctional officers that are bringing all that contraband in. There's too many cell phones in there for us. Yeah, see? Okay, yeah, we know it. We know it on the outside. We're not stupid. Right. It's got to be. So, if we could get some sort of good pay going, and I think they definitely need more training, and they need a lot more support, We need to get a certain law passed with only, like they have in daycares. If you're going to have children, you can only have, I think it's 4 children for 1 adult or something. We need to get that established with inmates. How many guards have got to be there? And we need to make it a good job that people want.
Right.
And as far as dispersing these gangs, though, I got to tell you, I keep going back to the drawing board on that, Stephen. What about you?
With the gangs in prison?
Yes. I have no idea. Everything I think of, it's not going to work.
Yeah, the gangs, you got to think about how many gangs are in the city. And so when you arrest these gang members, they're coming in as gang members. You arrest them, they come in as gang members. So there's somebody said something. We were talking about this one day on one of the little shows I was on. He said we should put the gangs, individual gangs, in one prison. Like you have the Crips in one prison, and the Bloods in one prison, and one in another. You don't put them all in the same prison. You can't put Bloods and Crips in the same prison because you know they're going to fight. And so it's going to be bigger. There's going to be more and more problems. So just put one particular gang in one prison. That's it. And then you have to tell the truth when when you go through your little orientation into prison. So are you, what gang are you in? Let me see your tattoos, all this type of stuff. Let's see what you are. And if you are that certain type of gang, well, you can't go here, so we'll have to move you to another. Because you can't. There's no possible way that you should put the same gang, different gangs.
No, you can't. They'll kill each other. But, I had thought of that myself. Let's build a separate prison for each prison gang there is. However, here in Arizona, we're having a lot of problems because of racial profiling. Our illustrious Sheriff Joe Arpaio, you know him probably as the pink underwear guy or the tent city man.
Yeah. I watched that. I watched it on TV. I've seen that one.
Oh, he was ferocious. But we are never, ever going to live through the damage that he did. And now we have the federal government telling us that the prison gangs are an indication of the fact that they think that we're doing the racial profiling in prison. And because of that, the racial profiling, somebody pointed out to me that that's illegal. They won't allow that. And I thought, well, then let's just change the law, because if you could separate each gang, that's about the only way to do it, isn't there? There's no other way, is there?
I don't see no other way, because you cannot put the Bloods and the Crips in the same prison. There's no possible way.
No.
You can't put
I wouldn't dream of it.
No, you can't do it, because you're asking for problems. You're asking for trouble. I remember watching that one. As a matter of fact, I was watching it on my Kindle the other day. The pink underwear guy in the Tent City. Now, let me ask you, is Tent City still there?
No, and neither is he. Although, he was running for senator for Arizona, but he didn't actually make it to the final election, I don't think. So everybody hates him now. We're so mad at him. He really gave the state a bad name. And that prison was just horrible.
Yeah, because I don't understand how you could put some guys out there in the tent. That just didn't seem right to me, but,
Well, that was it right there. Right. It is a violation, and the heat is the thing. I don't know, honestly, to be honest with you, the death toll there was rumored to be extremely high, a lot higher than what they were actually reporting. And I said, well, who's surprised? I mean, out in the tent in the middle of the day, in the middle of that sun, up around Phoenix area, you're probably talking 125 to 130 degrees.
I know, because they're always about how hot Arizona is, but it's dry heat, but it's still hot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have to really pay attention in this heat. It will catch up with you in no time. So I just don't know how we got away with it for so long. And a lot of pregnant women died. He bragged about how he spent more money feeding his prison dogs than the inmates.
See, you talk too much, what happens to you?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, Stephen, I was going to write about him way back then, and I went on Google to find out all these websites about him. There must have been about 127 websites about Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Do you know I got through about 65? They had all been deleted, shut down by him.
Wow.
It said so on the screen, and I thought to myself, oh, boy, this is not somebody I'm going to be writing about. I think he might be dangerous. And, oh, yeah, he was.
Right. That's I remember watching, I said, I don't know how he's getting away with that. The pink stuff, that had to take the man's self-esteem down. That had to increase more fights, because they want to show you how tough they are, because they had to start more fights. But with the outside, all that heat in Arizona and all that type of stuff, and living on top of all that sand and stuff, that's just not possible. That's not right. You can't send people in there like that. That's
No,
just ridiculous.
and it ended up, it was a real mess. And so all of his supporters began to get kind of disgruntled, and he was up to so much trouble. They caught him using the helicopter for the sheriff's department to take his relatives to Disney World. We're closer to Disneyland. We're Arizona. He was flying all the way over to Florida. So, it was bad. And there's going to be more like him. Just, and it goes back to what we were saying. How much longer are the prisoners going to put up with this? Seriously.
Right. I don't know. I don't know about that. Seriously, I really don't know. And that's a good question. They're not going to put over too much longer. I don't see. Because it's just too much as far as there's almost so much a man or a woman can take.
Yeah.
There's so much because you're still a human being. You're only going to take so much until you finally break and you just go off. It's going to happen. And I pray that it doesn't cost an inmate or a CO or even somebody in visitation their life. Because who's to say somebody can go off on visitation and end up just hurting somebody inside there? Because I tell you who really is a group of inmates COs that are somebody that you really have to keep your eye out on is the people the team that comes in with the fatigue and stuff on. What's it called? I can't think of their names.
I know who you're talking. Are you talking about the Muslim women?
No. I'm talking about the guards that come in with the search, shake you down, all type of stuff. When they have the ninjas, is what we usually call them.
Those guys.
You got to watch out for them because they are. Oh yeah. Those are the ones to me. And I've said this before. Those are ones that I believe that were bullied as a high school kid and college kid, so now they come and take it out on the inmates. That's who they want to beat up on. That's where they usually beat up on. That's where most inmates get hurt at when they get those raids. The people come in and do the shakedowns, and they shoot them with those guns with the little bully bullets, little plastic bullets.
Yeah, the rubber bullets.
It might not penetrate, but it still hurts.
Oh, it hurts. Yeah, I've seen a few get shot, and it looks very painful. The reason I'm laughing, Stephen, is because I went to high school with a guy that grew up to be one of those people. And you're right. He was in a car accident. He had to recover use of his right leg, and he was bullied after that accident. He grew up to work in the penitentiary, and he told his mother the reason is because that's where all his enemies are. And I just said, oh no, this is bad. This is really bad.
You're right.
It is. It's scary.
It's terrible.
It is.
So
I've learned to laugh about it because I used to cry.
You do, but you know what? Crying. You're right. You do need to cry because it's so horrible how the inmates are treated. How the female inmates is what really. Oh my God, that makes me mad, worse mad than anything. Man, I see how they treat them sexually, all kinds of stuff. You're going to do this, you're going to do that, or I'm going to write you up, or you're going to the hole. And that's not wrong. Cutting off your visitation if you don't do this for me. That's just not that. And then they're scared that most likely a lot of them has been abused and stuff on the outside by husbands, boyfriends, or whatever, and now you come inside and get the same thing. So
they spot them right away, don't they?
Yeah, they're mentally damaged before they even get a chance to get out.
That makes some good picking. Yeah.
Yep.
I've been reading about sex trafficking and selling of babies going on out of some of those places too.
Really?
Yes.
It does surprise me.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to send 2 of the articles I posted on National Prison Reform Chat recently to you. It is very alarming. Very alarming. Prostitution and, women get pregnant in there, and the guards are doing it.
That's, I just saw, I forget what city, that's crazy. I just saw something like that. I saw on the news yesterday, a woman that's in a coma, and she just gave birth.
I saw that. Yeah, and they're taking the DNA of every man that works there, aren't they?
Yes, they are, and they should.
Yep.
Because
yes, they should.
That's right.
It certainly is. It certainly is.
Wow.
I did read about that. Somebody was arrested recently for prostituting female inmates. And as far as babies being sold, I imagine I did hear about Florida. Okay, as far as the state goes, I wouldn't be surprised though if it even happens here in Arizona. There's a big demand for white babies, for healthy babies to be adopted. I'm not surprised.
Right.
A lot of people will pay good money for a baby. I was adopted, and I was paid for. My adoption was not legal. So if it was done back in, the 60s sometime, without giving away my age, I'm certain they're doing it even more now.
Right. You're right. I know they are. I bet you they are. And that makes a lot of sense. You know what? And that would be the best way to happen. Not saying it's the best way. But if they have female inmates getting pregnant by COs, that's what black market baby.
Absolutely. It's a good way to provide that. And there's a lot of money in selling a baby, a lot of money.
Yes, it is. Because there's a lot of women and families out there who can't have children will pay top dollar for it. You're right. You're so right.
That's
my God. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that like that. You're right. Ooh.
So it sounds to me like it's just a free-for-all. The guards are criminals, too. The administration is in on all this because it was pointed out to me by an inmate that the guards wouldn't be doing it unless the administration were in on it, too. So that's kind of like no doubt about that.
That's a catch-22. You're right.
Yeah. And so, back to this prison for profit thing, I think that we're making so much stuff from these inmates and their free labor. I think it's going to cause another depression.
You know what? I believe that. I really do. I really do believe
that. Because who can afford to buy all this stuff? Jenny and I have looked at a few catalogs of stuff that they do make, that they sell in bulk, and it is outrageously priced. And if you wish to shop somewhere that does not use prison labor, you're hard-pressed to find any place. It's going to be a mom-and-pop store, okay? Walmart, Target, all of them are using merchandise now.
We just talked about that too. You're right. Me and Dawn just talked about that too on our show, and she brought it up too. And she said I couldn't believe it when she said it. I said I didn't know that it was like that. I knew it probably was, but I didn't know the stores who did. That's crazy.
Yes, it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. So they've got the whole country doing this now. Okay? You're involved one way or another if you're a consumer, if you're a retail seller.
Right.
Excuse me. And we all know that's how inflation starts. You have either an excess in the consumer demand or an excess in the merchandise that the consumers don't want. Well, we're going to have an excess in merchandise, and nobody in this economy can afford it. Everyone's in jail making it.
Good. But you know what? And you're right, and that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what they're doing, and it's going to cause us to go into that. You're right. I see it. It's coming, but you know what? It's slowly starting now. And all the stuff that the inmates do, because I remember they were talking about that prison strike and all that type of stuff. That would have been a great idea, but how far would that have went, though? That's all I wonder. How far would it have gone?
People would have died in some prisons. I think the ones in Florida would have gotten massacred by the state. I really do. Some states might have fared very well, others not so good. South Carolina would have been sunk.
One of them.
Where Lee Correctional is.
Yeah. And me being in North Carolina, we would have too. I already know that was going to happen. Because I know one of the wardens, he's a warden, or deputy assistant warden. He's about to be a pastor in our church, and he was talking that I wish they would, I'll lock the whole thing down. I just looked at him, man, he don't know what I used to be, because I'm a deacon at my church, and I just looked at him, man. I told him, man, that's wrong. Why are you gonna lock down the whole church, whole prison down for something that's going on outside? Not all the prisons are doing that. You just have to be smart and see what's doing what. You can't lock everybody down just for one prison. I said that's just gonna cause more problems for you. It's gonna cause you more problems, because now you're really gonna fire them up. You can't do that. I've never seen nobody get excited to have the ninjas come in and shake a thing down. I said that's how you get excited over that. Even when I was a CO, I didn't like to see that. I didn't even like to see that happen when I was a CO, because I knew how bad it's going to be once they leave.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be mad at everybody, even if you or even on that team you're a CO, so they're gonna be really mad at you because you knew it was coming. Even if I knew it was coming, there's nothing I could tell you, because if I tell you, then they're gonna look at me and say, you snitched on me, on us. And but it's something that has. But like you said, something has to be done. Something has to be changed, because there's too many problems going on in the institutions. Too many. And me coming to these groups now, looking at what people are saying and stuff like that, I knew it was bad, but I had no clue it was this bad.
Right.
I didn't know it was this bad. I really didn't know it was this bad. That's all I can say, though, man.
I feel the same way, because my son has been involved with the system since he was 8 years old. He's mentally challenged and emotionally challenged. And he was telling me stories like we're hearing now, and I didn't believe him. I thought, what's an imagination? I feel terrible. I really do. I had to apologize to him and say, you apparently were telling me the truth, and the only thing I believed was the food part.
Yeah, that food part there was something else.
Oh, gosh, I've seen pictures. I've posted them. It's just, I think every prison should have a garden, and the inmates should work for vegetables, because we can't keep feeding them that way. We're starving them. We're making them sick. They come out of prison just in bad shape. They need medical care, a lot of them. They've got diseases.
Yes, they do.
It's my understanding they don't even spring for pest control. So we're in Arizona. I think our biggest danger is snakes and scorpions. Where you are, what problems have you got?
We have copperheads. We have copperheads. We have that here. Yeah, we have copperheads. we have spiders, and fire ants. We have terrible fire ant problem here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got those too. They're not fun.
No, fire ants. We have some snakes. That's the copperheads. That's about it. But we have a lot of deer. We have some bears. They come down from the mountains.
No. I think that would be a good thing for the inmates to see, but a nice copperhead is not quite.
Right. Now, here's my question to you. What you think about this? I saw this also online about the fire. All the fires were going on about the prisoners being firemen.
Mhm.
So, how do you feel about that? Because they can never get the job. They can never be a fireman on the outside because once you got a felony, you can't be a felon. You can't be a fireman with a felony. So,
I looked into that a while ago. I guess there are states where you can, but you can't in my state. They won't let you.
Right.
And as you said, you can't in your state. And I do not think that's fair. Because let me put it this way. If I go outside and the woods behind my house are on fire, I don't care if you went to jail or not. Just please come and help me. I'm not doing any background checks.
Right, that's right.
I mean, it makes me very, very angry that there's just no sense in it. And I think that they should get paid more, too. I realize they're in prison, but they are risking their lives to help the community. They could die doing this.
Exactly. But like I said, they're just a body to put inside the thing and get money for. So they don't care. But
I know.
They should get paid more. I wouldn't care, like you said, if you kill 3 or 4 people, but you put out fires. There's a big fire set up behind my house. Yes, please help me put this out. Right. I do not care.
Yeah.
Take my house.
Who's going to stand there and do background checks? You got wood burning. Your house is in danger. Come on.
That's right. That's right.
That's just stupid. It is stupid, and it would help a lot of convicted felons get some good careers going.
Right.
Get some really good careers going. And you know what else, Stephen? I'm sure they're doing it in your state. It's come to my attention that these programs they are doing now. I got a call from an inmate. There is a woman in her electrician's class who is forced to be there. But when she gets out, she's going to be 68 years old. 68 years old, and they're making her take the electrician's class when somebody young could be taking that.
Exactly.
So they're even making profit out of that too, and it's just crazy. The only good thing I see is that they have actually locked up so many people that we're getting quite an army out there. Have you noticed?
Yep, we are. Wow.
Yeah.
That's all I can say is wow. You're so right. You brought up some great points. You're so right. Oh my God, you brought up some good points. I'm so glad to find somebody who kind of believes in stuff I believe in, because people said I don't know. Bless you. People be looking at me like, what are you talking about? I said, all right. I tell people, I said,
I swallowed water. The wrong way. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. This has been a great conversation that we're having. We definitely think alike on these things.
Yes, ma'am.
Which tells me that I am not too far off base.
You're not. You're not too far off base for that at all.
And neither are you, my friend. I think what we really need to do then is get the word out. That's what I'm focusing on. We have an army that's getting bigger every day. The more they're locking up, the more people are looking for us on Facebook.
Yes, they are. That's good, because they need to know that we are here and we can help. And people need to understand that Not all of them are. Not everybody's bad guys or bad women. They're not. We all make mistakes, and there are ways that we can try to help you fix them and to get back to society and to get back to people who really want to help. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to help people when their families call me or get in contact with me on Facebook. I always do it every day. I never have an off day. And like I tell people, I don't get paid for this. This is what I do because I want to help. I want to help. That's all I want to do is help people. That's all.
I don't know anybody that does get paid. Do you?
No. I was just saying, but a lot of people say, "Don't you get paid?" No, I don't get paid for this. I do this because I want to. I pay.
Well, yeah, this isn't about money. This is about a cause.
Help. That's right. People need to help, and it's just to see the abuse go. I don't understand. I don't like that. I don't care for that. I even help people have incidents outside with law enforcement on the outside, not inside the prison, on the streets. Cops with other inmate citizens and stuff like that. I deal with stuff like that too. And even in the county jails, I deal with stuff inside the county jails. But like I said, I just don't understand a lot of stuff that happens. And I have to tell the people, the family members, so, well, I'm not saying what he did was right because it wasn't right, but the way that they treated him was wrong. Now, I tell them that all the time.
Yeah.
Especially if I know the inmate was wrong as far as the person before we go coming into the system. I said, you fight with the police and making a scene, it doesn't make it better for your lawyer or me to say anything if I see something. I can't defend you if it's the way you acted. When I talk to people's families, talk about their loved ones inside the walls, I tell them that you need to tell them, stop acting out. Just relax. Don't fight back. Don't say nothing crazy. Don't go put yourself in the hole because I can't help you if you're there. I can't bring up points to give to your lawyer. Because sometimes they talk to me more than they talk. They talk to me more than they talk to their lawyer. And I tell them, I say, you really need to be telling your lawyer this. I said, well, you listen to me. He doesn't want to listen to me because he's on a time schedule. I said, okay, I understand that. I said, but you are paying him to defend you. I'm not a lawyer. I can't defend you. I said, but I can give him the same stuff you tell me as I can tell him. But it seems like they weigh what I tell them a lot more than what they tell them. And I don't understand that because they're the ones who's paying. I'm telling you, I'm just a person off the street. I'm just a person who's listening. I tell you. So, they do appreciate it. I've helped a few people out getting out of prison early. So, it's like I said, it's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle for all of us who do this type of work. It's never going to be easy. It's never an easy day.
No, but we can persevere, and pretty soon that there's going to be more of us than there are of them. And like I said, if we go into a depression because of this prison for profit and manufacturing too many material items that nobody can afford to buy, well, I guess all the rich people that are profiting are going to lose their money, huh?
You know what? That's so true. You're right. But they haven't really truly thought about it that far.
They never do. That's why they're doing what they're doing. They don't think. Why,
when they do think about it, it'll be too late then. It'll be too late then.
Yeah. It is crazy. It's just insane. And, well, we are going to work to make it better. And I tell you what, our time is up for tonight. I've got to prepare for my next show. But I would like to have you back, Stephen. And maybe we could get more people. I would love to have Jenny and Dawn in this conversation. And you know J.D. Rutherford, too, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if J.D. would like to be part of a show.
I'm pretty sure he will, but like I said, me and him talking about doing a show on the 15th or 16th, or 16th or 17th, I mean. we'll talk about doing the show. So he's gonna let me know. But I will. I definitely pass it on to him when I talk to him.
And who knows? Maybe our little group could fix everything and get it submitted. I don't know. But
maybe somebody.
Yeah, it would be great if we could figure out just how would it be fixed. Because I'm convinced it can be done.
I think it can be done, but it's going to take a lot of thought, a lot of teamwork. But I think people like us can do it. But you know what? Who's to say that somebody
I agree.
Maybe somebody will hear our show and be like, you know what? They have an idea. Let's get them together. Let's fly them out so we can all meet each other and they can sit down, give them a week to sit down and think about stuff that we can do to try to make this stuff better. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Who's say that never happens? But go ahead and let us go, and I want to thank you for having me on the show. I do appreciate it. Anytime you want to do a show, I'll be right there and do it with you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Stephen. And you have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. I will be in touch.